Krista from Covering the Bases, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am interviewing myself. That's a good question, Krista. Good question. I've done a lot of interviews for the blog before, and I always feel like the questions are always kind of the same and generic. I never leave the interviews thinking they ask thoughtful questions or that whoever's reading this can actually get like a true sense for who I am or what I do. I have them all written down on my phone. Some of the questions are going to be like kind of generic, but questions that kind of give you a peek into who I am. And then we'll get more in depth. So the first question is, who's your go-to on Spotify? And it's a toss-up right now between Chance the Rapper and then just like a Disney music playlist. If that doesn't give you two ends of the spectrum, I don't know what will. What is the daily must-read for you? I love Twitter Moments. I get all of my major news from Twitter Moments because they do a really good job at curating stories in the span of just a couple tweets at a time. So obviously sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're political, sometimes they're, you know, world news, and there's a lot of different areas on Twitter Moments to scroll through. I really personally love them. So the next question is, what is your favorite blog? And I'm sure people would like me to answer this in the realm of blogs similar to mine, but my favorite blog, and has been for a really long time, is Barstool Sports. I'm obsessed with everything they do. I am a hardcore stoolie, and you would never know that. So if people just ask, then you would know, but now you know, and here we are. What is it like working in a male-dominated field? So for those who don't know, I do work for Major League Baseball. I work in our social media department, and obviously baseball as a whole is a male-dominated field. I feel like the office I work in isn't as male-dominated. Of course, like, it is, but especially in social, there is like a good handful of girls. It's difficult because just like in any work environment with males and females, you're perceived differently for doing the same actions, and that's hard for me. Okay, easier question. What is your go-to karaoke song? I know Shoop by Salt and Pepper, literally like the back of my hand. Next question is, how do you think blogging has changed your life outside of blogging? I've definitely become a better writer because of it, and I really like that. Blogging and working full-time seems like a lot of work. What compromises have you made to do this? So it is a lot of work. I think people underestimate how much work goes into being a blogger and producing content 5 days a week. So what compromises have I made is definitely, going going out as much, because when I come home, I'm working on my blog from like 7 to midnight. I never really have time off. So like even on vacation, I'm creating content for the blog and taking photos and doing videos and posting on Instagram and, you know, curating all of these things to push out. What is your favorite time of day? My favorite time of day is when I get to ride my bike to and from work. It's just like my time of day when I get to think. Sometimes I'll just like interview myself in my head. This is how, like, I think this is how this video came to be. You know, people like have all that time thinking in the shower. I think best when I'm on my bike. What do you like to think about before falling asleep? A lot of stuff I do think about is, and I actually wrote this down because I was like, don't forget that you actually do this. I like to give speeches in my head, or I like to like pitch myself for a job, pretend I like a job interview. I just really like to give speeches, and in my head, they are great speeches. Next question. Why don't you blog full-time? So I've actually gotten this question a lot because technically I can live off of my blog income, which is awesome. And I'm very happy. I have definitely worked towards that for a long time, and having like a second income is great, but having two incomes is so much better than one. That's why I don't blog full-time. But what is your weirdest fear? This I wrote down because it's just funny and I think people should know. I'm terrified of stairs, going downstairs. It's taking everything in your body to not topple forward. That's scary. So, I'm scared of stairs sometimes. Especially stairs that have like really, really short stairs and your foot kind of hangs over no matter where you step on them. Nada. Rank your favorite sports. A lot of people might think that because I work for Major League Baseball, baseball is my #1 sport, but it's not. Don't tell them. It's actually college basketball. As you guys know or may not know, depending on how long or how little you've been watching my videos or reading my blog, I went to the University of Kentucky. I actually picked University of Kentucky partly because of their basketball program. College basketball, baseball, college football is the challenge, golf, NBA playoffs, NFL, hockey, NBA, soccer. Yeah. If you were to be fired from your day job tomorrow, what would you try and do next? I would try and get a new job, and I would try and get her hired at Barstool Sports. What are your top 5 favorite shows? John Oliver, Veep, The Challenge, 30 for 30, and then Madam Secretary. What is a burning question you have on your mind? If Saturdays are for the boys, and Monday through Friday or for the girls? Who gets Sunday? Next question is, what is the hardest thing to deal with as a female sports fan? And that 100% is trying to prove my fandom. Like when a guy tells me he's like a Mets fan, I don't quiz him on like the 87 Mets team. But if I say, you know, like I'm a Cubs fan, they're like, oh, well, where were you in 1908? I'm just like, if you could have one superpower outside flying and invisibility, which are the number 1 and 2 answers, what would it be? And a non-creepy answer would be to see into people's apartments. Not because I want to see them, but because I want to see the apartment itself. I want to see how it's decorated. I want to see the floor plan. If I could walk through on my floor and just be like, oh, that's what that apartment looks like, or oh, I like that one. That would be so cool. If I walk by brownstones, it's like, what does this 3-story brownstone in Chelsea look like inside? I would die to have that. I love real estate. What is one thing you wish you could mute for a month? Anything related to the election? What is your biggest pet peeve? People chewing or breathing loudly. You're nasty. Finally, what is one quote you live your life by? And it is the Jim Valvano SB speech. He said, paraphrasing of course, that if you laugh, cry, and think every single day, you'll live a fulfilled life. I laugh all the time, I cry pretty often, and I think a lot. That is it for me interviewing myself, which is basically just like a Q&A, but I made up the Q's and I answered all the A's. I don't know what I'm saying. With that, I hope you learned a little bit more about me and what makes me tick. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow. Not really. I'll see you next week. I'll see you next Thursday. I'll see you never. I'll see you when I see you.